Hi there and welcome. In this short video, I just wanted to talk to you about how to draw short, smooth fur with pastel pencils. Now, it might seem a bit tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's really rewarding. Just think of it as a process where every step builds on your last one, and by the end, you've got this beautiful, realistic fur that will bring your drawing to life. So first things first, you want to start by really looking at the fur in your reference photo. What's the overall colour? Are the tones warm? Are they cool? Or maybe they're a mix of both. Now you can determine this using various methods. You can just use your own eye. And I find squinting at your reference photo helps. Or you can use a colour picker tool. So you've got Photoshop or you've got free ones like Pixlr. That actually help you choose your colours. Now I always slightly blur my reference photo when I use these tools, as it just helps avoid picking up on those finer detail colours, if that makes sense. Once you've got that figured out, you can then grab the pastel pencils that match and you can start laying down your underpainting. Now you want to keep your pressure light and lay down your strokes in the direction the fur is growing. You're not trying to get any details in yet. This is just your base layer, but you still want everything to be going in that right direction. Think of it like putting on just a base coat of paint on your walls on your house. You're basically setting the stage for the details that are about to come. So now you've got your base layer down, it's now time to add the depth. So you'll want to pick colours that are just a bit darker and a bit lighter than your base colour or underpainting. And this is when you'll start to see your fur taking shape. Keep your strokes short and controlled, like you did before, and always look at the reference photo, just to ensure that you're drawing the length of the fur correctly and that you're drawing it in the right direction. It can be so easy to just get carried away while you're drawing that you forget to look at what we should actually be drawing. Now, with your darker colours, you're going to focus on the areas where the shadows naturally fall. So imagine where the light isn't hitting it directly. So maybe under the chin, around the eyes, or just where the fur is maybe changing direction or is a little bit thicker and is casting a shadow. Now the same applies with your lighter colours and the lighter areas. These are the ones that will make your fur look shiny and just more alive and realistic. So with your lighter colours, you can gently add your highlights where the light's hitting the fur the most. Again, keep an eye on the reference photo. Now you don't need to press hard, you just need a light touch, and avoid if you can going in with white straight away. Unless, of course, it's a very white subject that you're drawing. Leave your whites for your final touches. They should be your brightest brights. Now, adding your highlights helps give the fur that smooth, glossy appearance that you're looking for. If you want, you can lightly blend these highlights just to keep everything looking smooth, because you don't want any graininess. But don't overdo it. You don't want to muddy your image. You want to keep some of that texture intact. So by layering these mid-tones, you're adding the dimension that makes the fur look more real. Now finally, you want to add your details. So make sure that your pencils are nice and sharp and start adding those tiny little individual hairs, especially around the edges of the fur and just any of those little areas that might just need a little bit more definition, maybe around the muzzle or around the eyes, that sort of areas. Look at your reference, see how the fur naturally flows and it varies slightly in direction. Fur does not always travel in one direction, so that's really important. Make sure your darks are dark enough. This step really brings fur to life. It gives it the depth and the realism that you're after. Please don't be afraid of your darks. And remember, regularly take a step back from your drawing. Just have a look, make sure everything looks balanced. A great tip is to take a photo of your drawing with your phone and turn that photo into black and white. Now do the same with your reference image and then just compare the two. And you can see those tonal values so much better this way. It's a great way to help you, especially when you're starting out. The more you study how light interacts with fur and the more you practice these techniques, the more natural it will become for you. Each layer and each stroke will just bring you that little bit closer to that realism that you're aiming for. And remember, practice does make perfect, and drawing short fur is no exception. It is a process, so take your time, enjoy it, and watch as your fur goes from flat to fabulous in no time at all.